Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Who are
Wait,
you?
it's like 7 months. So I
For
haven't.
one season?
Yeah, for one season, and
Oh,
we
okay.
always travel. It's like the NBA, but like it's
Okay.
longer. So it really burns you out,
Yeah.
And we started the season 16-0. So and then we were the champions since preseason. So the expectations were high, but now we're
Right.
getting into slump. So I was asking him, what's the difference between burnt out and being out of shape? Because it's
Yeah.
it's so difficult to
Yeah,
measure
yeah.
because there's one thing that's common: you're tired.
Yeah.
So you know how am I out of shape or am I burnt out? The thin line between those two,
Right.
right? Because at the end of the day, you're tired. Like, should I take some rest or should I keep pushing?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we were
yeah.
just talking about that stuff, the balance of how the the mind is very powerful.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I mean, is that what did he say? Or what was his response?
So, I mean, he told me he was reading a book, and then that book said that you have to have new thoughts, new feelings, and new desires of your hearts. Because the negative, the pressure, the anxiety is too overwhelming. You gotta fight it with positive ones, and remember who you are. Because sometimes you forget who you are. When there's self doubt, or you're being anxious. Yeah,
Totally.
with opinions of other people, and you try to with the amount of information that we get, we start to believe what other people say about us, and then we get confused about our identity. Who are we, right? Because of
Yes.
it's so easy to get opinions from others, especially for social media. It's easy access to communicate to anyone, right?
Super.
It's so
Yeah.
fast. It's
It's
so
easy
convenient.
and cheap.
Yeah.
But we're so conditioned to seeing it that it's like it almost starts to
Def-
hold some sort of fake value
Yeah,
or weight,
yeah,
right?
and sometimes it defines who we are, and we start to forget what our real identity is.
Yeah.
What the truth is, how we know ourselves, like how the people closest to us know who we are.
Yeah.
Yet we value the opinions of others who we really don't know, and they don't know who we are. They
Yeah.
just see how we perform and judge us and start to believe what they're saying.
Right.
So that temptation of really um, believing that, and then we forget who we are, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it was very refreshing.
Yeah, man.
And it's the timing is great. Now we're talking about
Yeah, no, that's perfect because that even is, well, like I said, I had Ryan here
Yeah.
recently, and we talked about pretty much the same thing.
yeah, exactly.
And man, that's why I'm always like I'm playing hopscotch or I'm playing like double dutch with social media.
Yeah,
I'll be on there strong posting for like 2-3 days and then I'm gone. I'm
Yes.
ghosting it for
Yeah.
like at least a week
Yeah,
just to
yeah.
cleanse my palate. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like after games, I know there's gonna be some silly stuff on there, win or lose.
Yeah.
There's gonna be the keyboard warriors
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
like, it's not that I got to a point now where I'm like, I don't necessarily like I no longer hold like weight to it, like as far as
Yeah.
it affecting me like that. But it's
Mhm.
like, what's the point of even? I don't even want to see it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
correct,
saying?
correct.
It's like, yeah. So that's good, man. That's good that you have someone that you can go to be able to
Yeah.
like unload and
Yeah.
get that stuff out. Because I'm a you know me, like
Yeah.
I'm very much a loner.
Yeah.
And I try to figure it out on my
Yeah.
own. And I'm
Yeah.
like, a lot of times I may implode,
Mhm.
and that's not healthy either.
Yeah.
But you know, it it's the times it kind of causes us to, like you said, put weight on shit that doesn't matter.
Exactly,
You know what I
exactly,
mean?
exactly.
But before we keep
Yeah,
going, like,
yeah.
like we're in it now.
Oh, yeah.
like, but
Yeah.
thanks for coming,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah, of
I
course, of
appreciate it.
course.
Like, it's always good to see you and
Yeah.
talk with you. Like we talked about doing this a long time ago.
Yeah.
At the cafe, and the whole purpose of it is like, you know, allowing people to see us,
Correct.
be it players or
Yep.
public figures,
Yeah.
for more than the facade of what they see,
Yeah.
or however people see us. And being that it's my show, I want to have people in that I like to talk to and
Yeah.
enjoy. And you're one of the people
Yeah,
that
we always have deep
always-
conversations.
yeah,
You can
from,
go all
you know,
day. Yeah.
Even before we even became teammates, we would kind of
Yeah.
have exchanges on the court and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, that's one of the things I appreciated about you from the beginning, because you had like your story as a player alone.
Yeah,
It's had its ups and
of
downs and
course. Yeah.
craziness, but you've always seemed, from my
Mm-hmm.
perspective, someone who's been able to like ride the waves
Yep.
and deal with things in a steady way, and that's something that I admire. Yeah, I told someone recently they felt like they said they felt like they were drowning,
Uh-huh.
and I said just keep swimming. And so
Yeah.
ever since our discussion about that, I've always
Yeah.
came back to that, man. And I think it's important for people to like see that. Like for me to experience that with you at that,
Yeah.
especially at that time when
Yeah.
we were like, I think it was, there was still, there was just a lot of shit going on at
Mm-hmm.
that time.
Mm-hmm.
And we both were kind of like trying to pull each other
Yeah,
up
correct.
and keep each
Yeah.
other accountable
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, like what does that come from for you? Like when did that start?
Yeah, well, it all starts from experience, Like, I can see someone who's really struggling because I can relate. Like, I've struggled before, and as a teammate, especially you're a vet, and some people might have that separation from you that, oh, he's a vet, he's a philam. Like, he won't listen to me. Like, some people might have that notion, but like, I was really trying to be a teammate for you because I know you're up there, you're a veteran, you know a lot of stuff, but like your ability to listen to someone who has less experience and to see a different perspective is what I admire about you. Because like I was new in the team, and we've never been teammates before, and yet you were there listening, and that made me more. You were vulnerable, and for a lot of people, that it's tough to be vulnerable, especially for male athletes. You have to have that ego, that pride, that confidence, that cockiness. But you were vulnerable, and I appreciate that about you because you were open to hearing different perspectives. And then when you were listening, I just might be able to share some experiences that you've never had before, or maybe a reminder. Because as human beings, we tend to forget about stuff because of all the information that we receive. We forget about who we are, and then we forget about how we overcame challenges. And me trying to share some advice, and you listening is that it made me admire you more, and um, just how to apply it in everyday lives, because it's really I admire you because of what you did by listening and really applying it, and also giving advice that we can relate, like that I can relate
Absolutely.
and apply in my everyday life. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think thank you, man, for that. Like I felt like you were our like spiritual guide at the time, really,
Yeah.
like because like I said, there was a lot of stuff going on at that
Hmm.
time, and man, yeah. So I appreciate hearing that, but I look to you a lot.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So, but like with the mindfulness stuff, like when did it really start to like click for you
Hmm.
in your personal like journey? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so for anyone who followed my career, it was really out of nowhere. Up a lot of ups and downs, a lot of fighting for survival, and life's hard, man. Like, it's full of challenges. It's a crazy world we live in, but I didn't want to give up. I wanted to fight. So, especially during the pandemic, we had so much time. So I listened to a lot of podcasts on how people deal with their issues or battles. Because like I don't want to be that guy who doesn't give up. For me, I want others to see that if I can do it, he can do it. Like, I want to be an example to others and be an inspiration, even if some people might don't know me, but I might help them. Because everyone's going through something. Everyone has baggages,
Yep.
trauma, and I just wanted to fight. I wanted to. I won't allow the struggles define who I am. I wanted to win those struggles, and I'm not perfect. I still struggle, like everyone does. But like, I don't want to be stuck in that zone. I want to overcome it, be victorious,
Yeah.
and at the same time, I want to help people who are in that journey. You know, I might not be perfect, but at least try to help one another. So
Totally.
yeah, so especially with you, like I can't believe Kelly Williams is listening to me, or uh, um, he's interested to see my perspective. You know what I mean? So um, basically, that's it. Based on experience, I just don't want to. I don't want to get stuck.
Yeah.
I wanted to fight and be victorious, and at the same time help others also who are experiencing the same things.
Yeah, definitely. I think at some point, you start to realize, like, just like you said, we're all going through something.
Yeah.
And at that point, it doesn't matter your status. It doesn't matter, the outlook or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How you may be viewed in the world.
Mm-hmm.
When you're going through shit, you're going through shit. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and one of the things for me, I really had to hit the bottom in order to get to the point where you realize, like, oh, money, status, awards, none of that stuff matters. Like,
Mhm.
what matters is how you bounce back.
Yeah.
What matters is the things that you can't buy. Your
Facts.
resiliency. You know what I'm saying? Your resolve. And so when I got to that point, I started looking at everyone differently.
Mhm.
I started having a little bit more compassion for people.
Yeah.
I stopped looking at people purely off of what I may think their lives are.
Mhm.
Like, I'll see an actress or an actor, and
Mhm.
like, yeah, they're on the screen and they're doing all these things, but like, there's more to it than that
For
that
sure.
we don't see.
For sure.
Right? Which is why we're here, right? Like,
Mhm.
I want to be able to expose people to that, not necessarily to their shit, but just to the fact that we're all going through this. We're all living
Facts.
this life. We're all connected, really,
Mhm.
and we just have different journeys. We all have different covers to this essence and this soul that we have on this world. And so I got to the point where it's like, I need to listen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm looking up or looking down or looking left and right. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like that's the only way we can really get by in this world, is if we're able to listen to each other and
Facts.
have compassion for
Yeah.
each other and learn from each other,
Mhm.
really.
Mhm.
Right. So
Mhm.
I appreciate what you're saying. I'm like, man, I learned so much from you in our time,
Mhm.
and that's why I respect you so much, and
Mhm.
why I do want to meet up with you and have, I enjoy our talks, because you're one of those guys. It's like the humility to share, and the humility to hear
Mhm.
and listen. And yeah, that's one of those things I wanted to be able to project from,
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
our sit down and whoever may be listening right now.
Mhm.
Right. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
dude.
just really interested to know people's stories, and maybe I can, get something from them and try to apply it in my life and
Yep.
see if it works, right? So
Yeah.
try to I love hearing people's stories, your stories and wisdom of it. It just really interests me,
Yeah.
and then try to experiment and then do it and try to balance it, what works, what doesn't work for me, because like everyone has a different perspective. It's sometimes we just see things the way we want to see it. We're so blinded.
Mm.
But like if you get a different perspective from other people, um, you kind of realize, oh, I don't know everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sometimes because the ego speaks and your pride speaks, and I know everything. I'm right all the time.
Yes.
But like for me, it really is interesting to know a different perspective from someone else and try to apply it from your life.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
So yeah,
and they can have a totally different experience as far as what they're going through.
yeah,
Something that we may not even like, what they're going through, we may not actually have experienced, right?
mm,
But the principle behind it and the
exactly.
purpose and the
Yeah.
lesson, it's like,
Yes.
oh,
Correct.
that
Correct.
matches. Like, I get that. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying?
Correct.
Yeah, dude. You got to be a sponge
Mm-hmm.
nowadays. But the the tricky part of that is, we need to be a sponge, but then you also have to be kind of you have to filter even more,
Exactly.
because there's so much, shit in the world. And
Yes.
like you said, with
Yes.
the access and social
Yes.
media and all this
Yes.
stuff, it's like, well, you don't know what's real. You don't know what's
Exactly.
true. You don't know, even with people, it's like, what are their intentions, or there's so much stuff that
Correct.
we have to kind of try to filter out
Yep.
while
That's the
still
key word. You
being,
gotta filter it out.
yeah, while being a sponge and
Yep.
and
Yep.
being willing to listen and learn. It's a tough balance.
Yeah.
It's a different time nowadays, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So I was talking to my friend about how mental health is an issue now, and even before. And I feel like for example, if you're an athlete, you're trying to be healthy, you have a nutritionist, right? And how often do you eat in a day? Like, 5 times, whatever, four. And if you're so careful with what you eat for your physical body, you should be careful also with your thoughts. Because imagine how many thoughts a day. Imagine if you're careful about eating 5 times what you put in your body, what you're thinking, what you're seeing, what you're hearing.
Yeah.
You gotta filter that out too.
Yeah. It's some ridiculous number. Like
Yeah.
somebody did the math and the science behind it, like how many thoughts we actually have on
I
an
think
average.
thousands.
It's thousands,
Yeah,
dude.
it's
Kurt, can
crazy.
you check that real quick? That would be like the I think it was recently, like a couple months ago, that came up. I don't know if it was a video or a reel or something, but somebody's talking about how many thoughts, and I was like, are you like fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And if you're really trying to like be
Yeah.
strict about like
Yeah.
what I'm letting in, what I'm not even talking about like what I'm watching and what I'm
Yeah.
intaking from
Yeah.
external, what's
What?
happening
Yeah.
just
What
on
you are
internal,
thinking. You
right?
gotta.
Like,
That's why when they say when you make the subconscious conscious, you have now power over what you're thinking.
yes,
Hold on, wait a minute. I shouldn't be thinking that way. Okay, let's focus on the positives. Let's
yes,
focus on what's real and not. Let's focus on the now.
yeah,
Because like if you're really particular with what you're eating, which is for your physical body, what you're thinking for your mental health, right?
right,
So you
right.
gotta really be careful with that.
It's crazy, dog. Because like using the same sort of analogy, like if you're eating a healthy meal and you're conscious of it, a slice of pizza isn't gonna just slide onto your
Yeah.
plate. Accidentally, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, I ate that slice real quick. Like, no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But like with thoughts, there's so fucking much, dog. Like it's crazy. Let's see.
45 thoughts per
Per
minute.
minute.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, dog. So how much is that per day? 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts per
Imagine
day.
that.
And you're trying to like, and you're really trying to be like, I need to
Yeah.
be positive and
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. It's a constant battle. It's
It's
a constant battle.
crazy. It's
Or else it
crazy.
will eat you up. Like if you focus on the negatives, the self doubts, anxiety, it will eat you up. Especially if you're not aware
Yeah.
that you're thinking that, the metacognition, thinking about what you're thinking,
Yes.
it will eat you up. And sometimes you start to believe it and it shapes who you are.
Yep.
It shapes who you are. You know what they say when your mind goes, the body flows.
Oh yeah.
Right? Where your thoughts are, energy flows.
Yes.
So you really gotta be careful.
Absolutely.
You gotta be more careful when what you think more than what you eat. Honestly,
Yeah, I think so. Because then you got to think about what you're eating before you actually
Yeah,
eat
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy, dude. Like, I recently caught myself, because I talk about the ridiculousness that's online nowadays,
Yeah.
right? Like, we've gotten to short form media, and everyone's trying to grab your attention, be it for funny stuff or whatever agenda or propaganda. But a lot of the stuff, because of what I look at, a lot of my algorithm brings up these ridiculous clips of people trying to be funny and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I joke about it, like, this is just trash. Why am I
Yeah.
wait? But then 30 minutes will go by and I'm like, oh shit, I've been scrolling, looking at this
Yeah,
stupid
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
and actually laughing
Yeah.
or whatever. But I'm like, man, it's such a waste of time. Like, not necessarily like those videos, because people are trying to like lighten the world, and I get
Yeah.
that. But like, man, if you're talking about feeding your soul and like
Yeah.
being conscious of what you're
Mhm.
like, what I'm feeding myself,
Yeah.
digitally or whatever, it's like you really got to catch yourself, because that slope is very slippery.
Yep, yep, correct,
And that can go. It doesn't have to be funny stuff. It can
Yeah.
be a lot of stuff.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
correct.
So, man, but it's just so much.
Yeah.
It's so much.
At the end of the day, you gotta filter it out. Like you gotta be mindful. All right, I spent 30 minutes already. All right, time to
Yeah.
Because like it might be a stress reliever, you know, like I'm not, your heart rate is low. I'm not thinking about anything. You're in your parasympathetic state,
You're
rest to
right.
digest.
Right.
But at some point, you gotta realize, okay, that's enough. I gotta focus on another thing,
Right.
and then you just gotta really be self-aware,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
act on it.
I really try to click out of, like, I have to like click myself out literally.
Hmm.
Like, oh wait, let's do
And that's
something.
good because
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
people might not click themselves out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're unconscious or
Yeah.
subconsciously they're still on it. Next thing you know, you're there for 12 hours
Yeah.
scrolling.
And
You
you
know.
feel like shit for some reason. Like, why do I feel so bad?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All I did was sit here and watch stuff.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
like you know what, your body doesn't know what's real or what's imagination.
Yes.
Because like when you watch like a scary movie or a intense movie, your body's all tensed up. It thinks that you're like back in the day, like a lion's chasing after you.
Right.
You're
Right.
all tensed up, and then after the movie, you ask yourself, why do I feel so tired?
Yeah.
Right? Because the body doesn't know, you know, for the body, it feels like you're getting chased by a lion.
Right.
It doesn't know what's real and what's imagination. It's all in your head.
Yes. Yes. But it's still responding in the same way as if you were
Exactly.
there. Right.
Exactly.
That's weird. That's weird how we still have those like instincts and like that's part of our nervous system.
Nervous system, yeah.
That like survival mode. And we've been out of that for like when's the last time you went hunting for food?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
I hunt for food on like Grab. That's how I hunt for food.
Yeah.
That's your water, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
Really, the awareness of it all.
Yeah, being aware. I think that's the key to a lot of stuff.
Correct.
Like even if you don't have a solution for it right now, just knowing like, oh, that's an issue for me. So like for me, a lot of my stuff is noticing my triggers,
Yes. Yes.
right? And I may not like I'll once I realize like, oh, that makes me angry or that makes me feel a certain type of way. Then I can go to where is it put or where is it pointing back to? Where is that? And then I can try to start solving, but it may not get solved or may
Yeah.
not heal or whatever right away, but the awareness of it,
Yeah.
at least now I'm not, say if something triggers me and I'm having a conversation with someone and it hits me, I don't have to act from that emotion. I can be like, oh, that's that thing. Let's put a
Yeah.
pin in that and
Yeah.
come back to it. And then I can still be present.
Correct. Correct.
in the
You're
conversation.
trying to protect your peace, because
Yeah.
having peace is so expensive,
Super. And then there's times where sometimes people will get the brunt end of,
Yes.
say, my responses that aren't
Yeah.
aware, I'm
Yeah.
not aware of and whatever. And that's not fair to them either. It's like, I didn't do anything.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But they said this word and it brought me back to
Now
the
it's
fifth grade when I was
now it's a trigger for them.
Exactly. Now I gave them a trigger and now we're just pulling triggers on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the awareness definitely, I think, is the one of the biggest things, man. Because if you're not aware of it, then you're just going off. You're a
Yep.
chicken with your head cut off.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Takes a lot of maturity,
Yeah.
being self-aware and actually do something about it. Being self-aware is just the first step, and then actually doing something is the next step. You know what they say, knowledge is just potential power.
Yeah.
The mere fact that you do something with that knowledge is really where the power comes from.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which is tough. It's not easy. It's not easy.
No, man. None of this stuff is easy. I think that's why the majority don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's either too painful
Mm-hmm.
or too tedious. You have to do a lot of researching. You have to do a lot of digging. You have to do a lot of reflecting. You have to be able to be willing to look at yourself plainly without
Correct.
the masks,
Correct.
right?
Could also be an ego thing, a pride thing, wherein they say, "I don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I know everything. I'm okay." The mere fact that you said that you're okay, I believe everyone is going through something.
Yeah.
Like whether it be with your relationships, whether it be in your work, your career, financially, there's always something you need to improve on. Like
Yeah.
you can't really say that you're okay, because
yeah.
there's something in your life that you think about like 24/7.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we can try to run from ourselves, but at the end of the day, I know that was one of my patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can recall times where someone's asked me, say like on a text, like, "How you doing?"
Yeah.
And then like a million thoughts would flood through my head, like, this is actually what's going on, but I'm like, I'm okay. But then I would send it feeling like, I hope they like almost pry a little bit more, like, tell me
Yeah.
how you're really doing. But it usually ends up, oh, okay, cool, that's
Yeah.
whatever, and move on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like you said, going back to what when you first started speaking, like, as men, we're kind of almost expected to hold the bravado of like,
Mm.
we're strong, we're
No
tough.
sign of
Exactly. No
weakness. No
vulnerabilities. No.
vulnerability.
Nah.
But I feel like you're even manlier when you admit that you need help. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, oh, I actually need help with this. I'm struggling through addiction or whatever. It makes you even more of a man because, like, you laid down your pride and ego.
Yeah.
And then you became vulnerable, which opens up, for the other person. Oh, it's okay to be vulnerable. Like,
Yeah.
he's really talking about it. Like, he's being a man.
Yeah.
He's actually doing something
Yeah.
rather than hiding it, masking it. And I'm okay.
I mean, I'm 42 now, and like my view as a man is so far different from what it was in the first, say, 30 years of my life, right?
Yeah.
We're conditioned to believe
Yeah.
all the typical stuff, not crying and not showing weakness, not showing emotion and stuff like that. But like you said, yeah, I agree. Definitely, like, showing a vulnerable side and being willing to follow when
Yeah.
when necessary or whatever. I got to a point now where it's like, that's just part of the human experience, like being
Correct.
human. You know what I
Correct.
mean? Like,
Correct.
male, female, whatever. Like, just be human. Like, we're all in this shit
Hundred
together.
percent.
You know what I'm
100%.
saying? Like I'm still kind of back and forth with having I don't really have a hard stance on a lot of things because I don't know enough
Mm-hmm.
to have a hard stance on anything,
Mm-hmm.
even from spirituality
Yeah.
sense, right?
Yeah.
I can't fully believe in one thing, and I also can't say that
Mm-hmm.
this thing doesn't exist because I just don't know enough.
Yeah.
But even going to like the gender roles and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it's like, man, like I'm not even gonna talk about like equality between men and women and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but just the basic, like, when we talk about common sense or just being like being like there's no better way for me to say it than like just being
Being human.
human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and understanding that we're all in this trying to figure stuff out. We're all dealing with some shit,
Yeah.
and you can't really say this person's going, like, he's dealing with less or she's dealing with less, so my stuff takes precedence over. Like,
Yeah.
you kind of just gotta. We're all figuring out, how can I help you? If I can't
Yeah.
take care, I have to handle my stuff as well. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's just too much stuff. That's too much pressure and too many expectations are put on people to, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's accept or what, but I don't know. At the crux of it, just be a good person. You know what I mean? Like, you don't gotta
100%.
be nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you can be a little selfish if it's for your mental health, but like,
Yeah.
just be a good, like, try to be a good person.
Yeah.
You know what I
Correct.
mean?
Correct. I think especially now that especially in the Philippines, people aren't open yet to discussing about mental health. I feel like um, it's a sign of weakness. What the boomer generation is saying. Like, but and at the end of the day, how do you draw that line or the balance between because now the generation now they're using mental health as an excuse to not do stuff. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like when they're overloaded with projects or exams, like they pull out the mental health card,
Right.
right? So how do you draw the line between having character and character development to actually needing, you know, um, a mental break.
Yeah.
Because like in the world won't wait for you.
Ain't no fucking breaks.
It will eat you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or pass you by.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
You won't like it won't wait for you. You'll get stuck. So for me, I think it's like you have to do something about it.
Yeah.
Admitting and being self-aware that, all right, maybe let's say for example you have a crucial game. You're having performance anxiety or like whatever in your work or in school. You have a project, 10 projects at the same time. It's deadline. It's building you up. It's eating you up. Like for me, the mental health is okay. It's eating me up. Like I'm having anxiety for all the deadlines. I have to do something about it now. Right, I'm gonna ask for help. Um, Talk to a friend and say, I need help. You know, like I'm struggling. Feed me with positive thoughts. Like what? How should I deal with this?
Right.
Rather than I give up. I'm running away. Because like people in the generation now is they throw out the mental health card so easily and use that as an excuse to for a pass,
Yep.
right? Like I won't do the project. I'll talk to the professor, tell them I'm having a hard time. Mental health card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And now you got to pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird balance nowadays when you look back at, say, when your parents or my parents or grandparents or whatever, they didn't get that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And
They got to figure it out.
yeah, you got to figure it out. They grew up hard, and by that they learned resilience and resolve.
Resilience, exactly.
And that's what I think nowadays with that whole idea of like you can lean on that mental health card. What does that do for the person's ability or growth in being able to become mentally tough
Exactly.
or being able to be resilient, which is what you actually need in the world?
Exactly.
It's weird, man. I talk with my kids a lot. My sons are now 14 and 12,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of our talks are around the mental stuff and approaching life and the shit that you actually need, right? It's hard to preach hard nose, you know, blue collar work, to their generation because of stuff like that, right? You shouldn't yell at the kids.
Yeah.
In the tournaments, everyone gets a ribbon. Everyone gets,
Yeah.
the participation badges and trophies. It's like, no, you got to lose so
Yeah.
that they can learn how to win.
Exactly.
And learn how to lose with
Yeah.
grace and sportsmanship and stuff like that. So it's a weird time because that's what, I built my career off of just being able to come back and bounce back.
Yeah, being resilient.
Yeah. And
Same as me.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be resilient.
exactly. It's like how can you really preach that when I don't know, games end in a tie? Like it's,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you got to learn how to lose. Like we learned how to lose, and in those losses we learned how to build
win.
back up.
Yep.
And you gotta let people. You gotta take that F. You didn't do the project. You got 10 projects.
Yep,
You didn't
yep.
do them. You got to take those zeros.
Because that's not how life works.
Exactly.
They won't wait for you.
Oh my
Though,
gosh.
when you go to like big companies, they won't wait for you. You need to deliver.
For sure.
You need to deliver.
Yeah.
So right now in the States, my friend told me a while ago that there is a thing called character coaching. For kids who need to.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's an in thing right now because, for the generation, they bring out the mental health card. You can't shout at me.
Yeah.
If you shout at me, you're gonna get reprimanded or we're gonna go to court. It's mental health is becoming a pass. So, how do you find that balance between having a strong character and actually doing something about your mental health?
Yeah.
Right? So it's a tough topic.
It's tough, man. What's this quote? It's something I heard recently. It was like, not recently. We've heard this before, I'm sure. But it's something like, hard times create hard people.
Mhm.
Hard people create easy times. Easy times create soft people. Soft people create hard times.
That's a crazy cycle.
Right? Yeah.
And it's so true.
But it's scary thinking about it now. It's like people are fucking soft
Yes,
nowadays.
exactly.
You can't say anything
Yep.
with his.
You'll get canceled.
Oh my gosh, this cancel culture thing we've been hearing about for many years. Like you can't say anything that.
You're gaslighting.
Oh my
You're
God.
invalidating me.
Dog, you're triggering me.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
like I get it to an extent, but like, fuck, man, you just can't say any. You have to like. Uh, filter your words just as much as you got to filter your thoughts.
Exactly.
Nowadays,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
I can't say anything wrong now, or you can't say anything, or it can be misconstrued as wrong, or flipped,
Yep.
and it's crazy, man.
You can trigger them.
Yeah, you could trigger whoever. You're
Yeah.
triggering somebody.
Yeah.
Probably saying triggering is triggering somebody, triggering a gun. Like, don't use my piece in that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what the fuck is happening nowadays? But yeah, dude, that character building thing, that's what's it called?
Character coaching.
Character coaching. That's big. So they're basically trying to teach them that aspect of it, not being fucking soft.
Yeah,
Basically.
exactly. Exactly.
I think we need more of that in the world.
Yep. Yep. Because, like, they abuse the mental health card, And just to find that balance, really. Because, like, I get it. You got to work on your mental health. But, like, you got to build character, too.
Absolutely.
Right?
I
It's like-
don't think enough kids get spanked.
Exactly.
Honestly,
And disciplined.
disciplined. Exactly.
Because they're going to say, oh, you're not giving me freedom.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever.
And this is funny that I say that. It's funny that I say that because I didn't get a lot of spankings growing up, and people who know me probably like laughing, like, yeah, we can tell because I'm like, I speak off the cuff sometimes, and I say some shit that I'm not supposed to say. But I took my lumps in other ways.
Yes.
So like when I moved to Detroit and being in my neighborhood, I learned quickly the shit that I should say and the stuff that I shouldn't.
Okay.
Right. I mean, my mom, she gave me some pretty good beatings, as small as she was, at different times. But for the most part, my fear came from these people around me in my environment. Right. Like I can get my ass beat if I say the wrong thing right now.
There you go. For me, you said it. The environment is really crucial.
Mm.
Because subconsciously, you'll be your environment. You know what they say? Tell me who your 5 friends are, and I'll let you know who you are. So the more just like an accent. If you say you spend 10 years in Australia, you get an Australian accent subconsciously.
Yep.
So it's the same thing as being. So you gotta choose your environment
For
wisely.
sure. I went there for like 6 days and I came back saying no.
See, that's 5
You know what I'm
days.
saying? Like 5 or 6 days. I
Yeah,
was like, wait,
yeah.
wait. But yeah, no, exactly. The environment, it's huge. And if the environment is promoting, super caution and, everyone is, I don't want to say everyone is safe. You should have safety, but like everything is okay. Everyone is, everyone who's here, everyone wins, everyone, it just doesn't.
That's not how
You're
life
not
goes.
preparing them for life.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
At some point, there's truth and reality. Like, life won't give you. I mean, even if you lose, we'll give you rewards. No,
Yeah.
you lose, you lose.
Yeah.
You gotta do something about it to become a winner.
Yeah.
That's just how life goes.
Absolutely.
Not everyone's a winner in whatever sport you are in, but do something about it.
Yeah.
You gotta be resilient.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I don't lie to my sons.
Yeah.
Because, like, you tell me a joke and it's not funny, I'm not fucking laughing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And their
yeah.
mom be like, hey, you should laugh. No, it's not funny. So if
Yeah.
I laugh at them and then they say the same joke to their peers and they get made fun of, now they have some
Mm-hmm.
like scar
Yeah,
from, and then they look back like, Dad lied to me. Like, no, fuck that. It
yeah.
wasn't funny, son. I'm sorry. Come up with some better material next time.
Yeah, you
Need
gotta
that, the
give them the
reality.
truth, you know?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
reality. Because then it'll look, I mean, to an extent, right? Like, I didn't give them every detail of the fucking divorce and
Yeah,
why, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
like, the reality is like, yeah, I'm not there, and me and your mom aren't gonna be together. Like, why baby that?
yeah.
Because they're gonna figure it out at some point anyway.
Mm-hmm.
At least they can look back and say, Dad was he told us the fucking truth. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And
yeah.
build that trust in that relationship and communication like that. But man, we need more honesty. And oh, that's where I was going when I talked about the reels.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I open up my phone or open up Instagram or Facebook, whatever, and it's something is being some video that's contrived and the person is made up. It's nice, super nice haircut, clothes crisp,
Mm-hmm.
scripted, and it's like, man, it's cool, even if it's the mental health stuff or whatever. Like everybody means well, but it's like it's such a what's the word? It's just like a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd
Like
rather have the authenticity of it all, you know?
yeah. So that's what I've been gravitating towards over the last couple of years. Just and even more so now is like I'm being fed these just it just feels disingenuous and
Yeah.
fake. Not necessarily, maybe not even fake, but just
At least you're self-aware that it's like a show, you know.
yeah,
It's their
super.
job,
Yeah,
whatever.
definitely. So I mean, I
Yeah.
just feel like it's becoming authentic and real is becoming more of a you know prized possession
Yeah.
and a need in this world nowadays because everything is fucking scripted.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
and we're being fed advertisements and anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
that's part of the whole.
Everything's becoming a show.
Yeah, that on top of the accessibility to online and to
Mm-hmm.
us, the negativity bias. So people are more likely to talk shit than to give praise and
Yeah.
all that stuff. When we talk about what we said earlier, this is how it just weighs down on you, right? So it's almost like you can't even open your phone
Yeah.
nowadays
Yeah.
without like guarding yourself and preparing yourself. I literally do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
Same. Like I gotta filter it out. Like
yeah,
again, thinking about what you're thinking. Hold on, wait a minute. When you're self-aware, hold on, wait a minute. It's negative. It's bad stuff. And then you try to be proactive. Okay, now I'm gonna feed myself with good stuff.
yeah,
Right? You gotta be aware of that. Like, okay, I'm gonna stop watching the news because it's all bad. And start, you know, changing my algorithm to what's important to me, what's giving me joy, what's giving me peace, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Because it gives you peace. And now you're in relaxed state. You're not in a stress state. So you gotta, again, be aware and gotta do something about it.
yeah,
Feed yourself with, if you're feeding yourself with good food, feed your feed with good stuff, you know?
yeah,
That will give you peace, joy, happiness, love. And then most people are not aware of it.
yeah. Just getting it, not realizing how it's affecting them,
Yeah,
right?
and then next
You
thing
gotta,
you know, they're tired.
yeah, exactly.
They can't sleep at night.
You gotta mute some people. You gotta
Yeah.
unfollow some people.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta,
I'm all for that. I'm all
yeah,
for that.
you gotta cleanse. A lot of people wanna, you gotta follow the social construct of like, following because they followed and playing that whole game. But
Yeah.
it's like you can mute. You don't have to like watch
Unfollow.
their
Yeah,
lives. Yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah.
if you don't want to be rude or which I don't mind that. Like
Thank God for mute
yeah,
button.
yeah, me too. But I got to a point where I'm like, if I realize somebody unfollowed me, like I go to the page and like, oh, they don't follow me anymore. I'm like, all right, they must have a good reason.
Yeah.
I hope the best for them. You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
so mature, Kels, because some people will take it very
oh,
personal.
I've gotten messages. Because I've unfollowed people,
Yeah,
and I'll get the passive aggressive like, oh, okay, I see. Well, oh, good luck to you. I'm like, you could have saved
yeah,
that. Like, I just
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
It is what it is. Like, just sidestep to that. Like, I'll get like if I send a message to someone, right, just a text or whatever, and then they'll get back to me 2 3 days later.
Mhm.
They're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I was busy. I'm like, you don't have to apologize. Like,
Yeah,
we're adults.
yeah.
We have lives.
Mhm.
Like, I understand. Like, you'll get back to me whenever.
Yeah,
And that came from getting so many because I'm the worst at responding.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, from like my family to my best friends, like they know there's a chance Kale's not going to respond for
Uh-huh.
3 days to this unless it's urgent.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And so over the years, though, I've got the message of like I ghosted them or
Mhm.
whatever. I'm like, man, that don't worry about that. So I have to tell people like, don't worry about that. Like,
Yeah.
let's just whatever. We're adults. But I sidestepped and I forgot where we came from. We were talking about blocking people and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, do that shit if you need to for yourself and for
Mhm.
your like mental health and all that. Like, you got to
Especially
clean it
when
up.
you start to compare,
Yeah.
when you start to get jealous
Mhm.
or compare. Why is he having a good time? Like you
Right.
gotta really. It's your heart, you know. You should be happy for them.
Yeah.
Because some people have that temptation to compare and crave for what other people have and start to get bitter.
Yeah.
Like, why isn't my life like that? Like,
For sure.
but you gotta be self-aware. Again, thinking about what you're thinking. Hold on, wait a minute. I gotta be happy for them.
Yeah.
I gotta, send that congratulations. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Text,
And then
It
then the hard part of it is like, why is that pulling me down in the first place?
exactly.
Right. And then you got to get to that line. I was like, oh gosh, here we go. More work to do.
Yeah, it's hard work.
It is.
Life is hard work.
One
It's
hundred
hard work. Yeah,
percent.
yeah,
If you're really trying to thrive and reach your potential and
yeah,
grow and get
yeah,
better,
yeah,
it's gonna be definitely
yeah,
difficult.
yeah,
You know, the someone who isn't working out isn't worried. Like, you're not stressing about how hard it is to.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Or just yesterday, I'm working out and I'm like, fuck, I'm far from where I want to be,
Uh-huh.
and it's difficult. But like the sedentary person's
Yep.
like, you're tripping. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah,
like,
correct,
it is what it is, man. Like, anything that's worthwhile is going to be difficult.
Of course,
Because if
hundred
it was
percent,
easy, everybody would do it, right?
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
And then when you get fulfilled after that, it's uncomparable.
Yeah.
When you work hard for something and see the results and being fulfilled, it's one of the best feelings ever.
And there's even fulfillment, even if you don't reach the goal or get to where you want to go. There's fulfillment in the attempt,
Yes,
right?
the journey is the
The
reward.
journey, seriously. And I'm learning that more and more, even now. Still now, like appreciate the journey, because there are days where you know how it is. You don't
Yeah.
want to get up and go to
Yep.
practice.
Yep.
But every time that I've gone to practice on those mornings where I was like 90% sure I wasn't going, every time I left practice, even if it was just a regular day of practice,
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, man, I'm so glad I went. Like,
Mm.
I did it. That's like another notch. It's going to go towards something. I don't know what, but
100%.
it's fulfilling. It's like getting to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want, most of the time, you don't want to go, you don't want to lift. But then when you get there, you're like, oh, fuck, I'm here.
I'm glad I did it.
Exactly. You're going to get the work in. And then working out is 90% getting yourself in the position to work out. Because once you're there, it's like, fuck, I might as well get
Yeah.
something in now.
It's the mindset.
Definitely. It's getting there. It's getting your feet down in the morning.
Yeah, you got to make that decision.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of mornings, do you have like a morning routine? I'm always curious
You
about
know,
that
because
stuff.
like our practice is in the afternoon. It's after lunch, so I have a slow morning, and I make
Those are the
sure
best.
I go outdoors. Like, being stuck inside is very. I don't want to call it depressing, but like, there's something about nature that brings healing to you. Like outdoors, mindful of your environment.
Totally.
Right? So I have my quiet time in the mornings. I spend it outdoors, and I walk my dog. and just really try to be mindful of my surroundings. Sometimes I get swallowed up with my thoughts that I'm not aware of. Wow, it's beautiful Earth, you know? Like, it makes me wonder how crazy, the environment is. It is what it is,
Yeah.
how it works, you know, just being really mindful of my
Yeah,
environment.
no,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
It, it makes me realize how small I am
Yeah.
to a big Earth, you know? Like, it won't wait for you. It just happens, four
Yeah,
seasons, like nature,
absolutely.
and it's healing. The environment is healing. It does. Sometimes I get swallowed up with my thoughts, but just walking outside, being in nature, like you're not thinking about yourself,
Yeah.
so you're not selfish. You're thinking about, man, life's good. So I make sure that I go outdoors in the morning and have my quiet time, and then really meditate and pray, and then it sets the mood for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Just like how we have basketball practice every day. That's for physical. Now, what do you do with your mental? Right, different aspects of a human being: mental, emotional, spiritual. So, if you're going to practice every single day, what are you doing for your mental aspect of your life, your emotional? Because if you're not really preparing for it, if something hits you hard, then like how are you gonna battle it, right? It's still a process. Everyone struggles with it, like when something bad happens, like how are you gonna face it? But the mere fact that you're prepared, just like in how there's prehab for injuries,
Yeah.
injury prevention. Do the same. I try to do the same thing with my mind. Before something happens, I invested something.
Right.
So it's a prehab. Like when you're strengthening your ankles, do mobility work. It's the same thing for the mind.
Right.
Before it gets injured, right?
Right.
So
Strengthening.
as much as possible, I try to do that. So I won't get shocked when something happens.
Right.
Something uncontrollable happens. It might take an effect on me, but at least I've invested something in it.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great, man. Is that pretty consistent for you? Like that's the one,
Yeah.
like the non-negotiable for your
Yeah, yeah.
mornings, right?
Like he, I'm a routine kind of guy.
Yeah.
So I try to um, do my routine every day as much as possible.
Right.
But also, there's grace if something comes up. Like I can't do
Sure.
because we can't really say something like if an inevitable thing happens,
Yeah.
of course. But I try to stick to my routine.
Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, I'm sure that's helped you also with. It's either it helped you or it's something that you've learned from in basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that repetitive,
Yes.
being able to.
Like you do your workouts right before
Yeah.
your skills, your shooting,
Exactly. Yeah.
your half court layup shot.
Yeah. Exactly. I still do that. I still do it, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going back to like like what you said earlier about like life's a struggle and it's an everyday process. Like that whole idea of coming back to yourself and realigning and
Mm-hmm.
being in nature and appreciating life. There was a point in my life where I thought for some reason or another that if I get to a place of gratitude
Mm-hmm. Yes.
that one time, I'm good moving forward. It's like, nah, like you literally have to make a decision every day
Correct.
to like be in gratitude.
Yes. You gotta focus on it.
You really got to make your mind go to it. Because I don't know how it is for you. I sleep terrible. So usually most mornings I would wake up and I'm not in the best of moods.
Mm-hmm.
So I really have to like, I keep the gratitude
Yeah.
journal or like I started this thing called morning pages because I started reading this book called The Artist's Way.
Mm-hmm.
And the morning pages just kind of basically a mental vomit of
Yeah.
whatever's happening in your
Yeah.
brain, which is a bit helpful.
Do you know that Kyokel's that being grateful and being um, anxious, it can't happen at the same time. So it's either you're grateful or you're anxious.
Mm.
And when you feed on being grateful more, your brain doesn't have time to be anxious.
I love
That's
that.
why all the modern research now says, have to be you have to have a gratitude journal. You have to be more grateful because your mind can't be grateful and anxious at the same time.
I love that.
Yeah. So if you focus and are mindful of being grateful, you're not anxious. Your mind doesn't have time to be anxious. So again, what you really focus on will actually make you feel better.
Yeah. Where focus goes, energy grows,
Yes.
energy flows.
Energy flows.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great, man. That's a great reminder. I needed to hear that today, actually. It's so easy to like be as much as I talk about and of like being mindful, being present.
It's hard.
It's
It's
so
hard.
easy to like
Drift away.
and just realize like I've been looking in this direction this whole time. Like
Yeah.
what the fuck,
Yeah.
right? It's really a conscious effort.
Conscious effort. Conscious effort.
Yeah.
You have to make a decision. I will focus on being grateful.
Yeah.
Because like subconsciously, I don't know, I guess it's human nature. It's human nature to focus on the negative. Let's say you played a good game. If all the coaches said, you played a good game, cuz. But let's say if management said, cuz, what was that? You tend to focus on the negative more.
Yeah.
If five people complimented you and one said, you suck.
Yeah.
You're
You're
so
gonna see
hurt.
that. Yeah.
You're so hurt
The
with that
negativity
one
bias.
negative. Yeah.
Yeah. The same thing. You post something.
Yeah.
You'll have 100 comments, but you see that one person like,
Yeah.
and you look stupid. Like, fucking you, this person ruined my day, right? The negativity bias, man. I've been saying this for years. We do viewings sessions,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or studying the other team or studying our game or whatever. I haven't even I maybe mentioned this to one of our coaches before, but I don't like when all we're watching is
Negative.
where we fucked up, and then all we're watching of the other team is all their highlights and made shots, because I feel like that subconsciously primes you. So you're going into this game thinking they're superstars who never miss, so we cannot make a mistake, which is the worst way to come into a game.
That's a great point.
Yeah. And we're going in thinking we're the
We
worst,
suck. Yeah.
right? So I 100% agree. Like, there's got to be a concerted effort to like focus on the positive and what's right, and that's just in life as it is with basketball. Yeah, you got to watch. So as far as the basketball example is, yeah, you got to see the stuff where
You need to improve.
you need to improve. But I think there also needs to be a reinforcement of like, this is, see, look at us when we do it right.
Yes.
Look how good we are.
Yes.
Look how, the energy or whatever. And I think
100%.
to kind of reinforce, is that the right word? Anyway,
Yeah.
that and ingrain it. So like, oh, we aren't just shitty players that
Hey, we
always
did something
mess
good.
up. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And it's it gives you joy. Like it keeps you motivated. Like you want to keep doing what's right.
Yeah,
It makes you want to keep doing the right play because wow, they saw what I did.
Yeah, they noticed
appreciated
me.
it. Yeah,
Exactly. They saw me.
Yeah,
They,
because
whatever.
like human beings, we just want to be relevant and noticed,
Yeah.
right? And then wow, I did something good.
Yeah, totally.
We're not just watching the things that I did bad. They recognized my hustle, my dive for the loose ball, my
Yes.
draw charge, my box out, my good defense. Cause like, for example, I know it's human nature, but like, for example, the what do you call this? We have the stats before blown bys, right?
Blow bys.
Blow
Yeah.
bys.
Yep.
But how many times was I able to stop my defender?
Exactly.
Let's say I stopped him 5 times and he blew by me twice.
Right.
Hey, that's still a good percentage, right?
Right. What was now? Let's talk about what was the difference between you doing it right here and you not being able to do it here. Why? Like, let's get
Yeah.
into that. Like, why we have to just say you kept fucking up? So like,
The thing is also, like with that, there are a lot of factors. Maybe in that possession, you were tired. In that possession, our defense wasn't balanced. Our help dropped there if the help guy wasn't there,
Right.
right? Or maybe there are a lot of factors.
So many
There's
factors.
so many
Yeah.
factors.
The game is so fast.
Yeah,
So it's like,
especially you're with four other players, teammates who you know we can't control, right?
right.
So there's so many things that's going on in a game, especially it's a team game. What more? I'd get it if it's like tennis, like it's all on you. You know what
Yeah.
I
You're
mean?
right. Right.
But there's so many things that you cannot control in the
It's too many. Yeah.
team game.
Too many.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah, man. I mean, I think like we know, for anybody that plays, they know that this game in particular, and probably in most things, like it's the battle is 90% mental.
100%,
So I don't care how talented
100%.
you are, I don't care how strong, fast, whatever physically advanced you are. If your mind's not in it,
Yeah,
you're fucked. You're gonna lose.
where the mind goes and
Energy
your body flows. Yeah, energy
Exactly.
flows. Yeah.
Exactly. So, if you're, say, if a coach, and I'm not a coach, but I've been around long enough to kind of see things from a bit of a elevated view, and
Mm-hmm.
and I've been around enough coaches to know
Yeah.
like what feels right or what seems right, whatever. But I know that you're not going to get the most out of your player
Mm-hmm.
if all you're doing is bearing down on what they're doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, there's got to be a level of encouragement,
Yeah.
like especially for a player like me, because the only reason I got into basketball is because of like I was trying to fill the father void
Uh-huh.
through my coach, and finding a brotherhood in a family. That's why basketball stuck with me, because
Yeah.
my first coach felt like a father figure,
Yeah.
and I just like I chased that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
If he told
You
me
long for that
oh my
feeling.
gosh, yeah. So if the coach was like, "All right, we're doing 10 run through the walls today," bet I'll do it.
So would you say that relationship is really
It's necessary for
crucial?
me,
Yeah.
and it's got to the point where it's like, if I can't trust you as my coach, or I feel something weird between us,
Mm-hmm.
I'll like,
Step back.
yeah, I'll kind of
Again, environment is really crucial.
super, man. So, yeah, but there's got to be a level of that, of
Yeah.
encouragement,
Yeah.
of like, look what you're doing right,
Uh-huh.
because
And
it's
it takes a
mental.
lot of maturity and adaptation to how the culture is today. And for me, I think, especially when you're dealing with people, it's all psychological. Not everyone's the same. You know, let's say I know what he likes. He's different, and I should treat him differently.
Yep.
It's hard work though, being a coach. Like,
Oh, okay. I
hey,
don't.
you're
I
dealing
don't
with how
envy
many
anyone.
people?
Exactly.
15 with
Yeah.
different personalities.
So totally. But the best ones are the ones who are able to manage the
Exactly.
players
Exactly.
as they are, and not expect everyone to do the same thing.
Exactly.
Right.
It's hard work. It's hard
It's
work.
definitely
Yeah.
hard.
So it's psychological. It's I feel like everything's psychological. How you treat people, get to know them, how you talk to them is different from this person. Like
Right.
how we connect is different. If I have to be hard on this guy, but this guy feeds on positivity.
Right.
He doesn't. Like he feeds on blah 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 shouting. This guy feeds on encouragement.
Right.
And it's hard work. It's
Yeah,
hard work,
for sure.
dealing with different people.
Right.
But then again, it's everything psychological. How you think, how you speak, and how I talk to you, how I relate to you.
Yeah.
It's with people management. Even in sales, it's all psychological. What the people want. Like in business, it's how do I, get their trust. It's how dealing with people. It's very crucial. How we how the mind goes.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah. Now,
interesting.
if you're a coach nowadays, you have to pretty much be a psychologist.
Yeah.
Right.
The mere fact that you can make your players play 100% effort, half the job is done.
Yeah.
yeah.
If you can get them to that point.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like, jeez, man. Yeah. It's even now for me. Like, I don't know how long I've been in the league, but it's been a long time, and so I'm at that level of like, or that stage of my career. It's like definitely Kuya,
Yeah.
right? Like definitely vet.
Yeah.
These guys are looking up to, like, looking to me and
Yeah.
say like Ryan or Jason
Yeah.
to like guide these guys.
Uh-huh.
So now we have to have that mentality of like really understanding how to.
Manage them.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
it's like I understand, like I have an idea of what the coaches want and what the management and whatever are looking for. So it's like, how do I help keep them,
Yeah.
afloat
How
and
do you
balanced?
balance it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because you're like a player and also a vet near to the management coach's
Yeah,
side. How do you balance that? That's tough.
yeah, it's tough. But I mean, I think as players
Yeah.
in general,
Yeah.
you kind of have to have that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like knowing your, we always used to say in high school, KYP, like know your personnel. I'm not going to pass it to this guy. So like, in this position, or I know I'm not going to pass it to him if he's there because that's not his shot or something
Yeah.
like that. So like we know that from that level, that's almost becomes the better you are, the better you are at that. Like the better
Correct.
player you are, the better
Correct.
you are at being able to manage that. But as you get into the professional ranks and stuff like that, and stuff becomes more serious and there's more on the line, you have to look into a deeper, you know,
100%.
right? Because in order to win, you really have to like grind shit out with
Yep.
the guy that you're next to.
Yep.
And that takes getting to know them at a deeper
Knowing
level.
their roles.
Yeah. Life is, man, like you said, it's all psychological.
Uh-huh.
And that's not even talking about relationships and
Yeah. Yeah.
family matters and
Yeah,
shit like
yeah.
that. You know what I mean? Like that's even deeper. So yeah, man. Yeah.
Everything's psychological.
It's psychological, that recoil of coming back to self, I think is the biggest,
Mm-hmm.
is one of the biggest factors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your morning routine, our morning routines, and however we process of trying to get back to yourself, being self-reflective, being vulnerable.
Yeah. And actually doing something about it. Because, like, it's one step to being self aware. And some people can say, it's funny, my friend says, can't we just be self aware and not do anything about it?
Right, and then just get it.
Yeah.
It just
yeah,
drops.
Yeah. Because,
I
like,
wish
it
that'd be
takes
great.
a lot of courage to do something about what you're aware of.
Yes.
Because it will bring you outside of your comfort zone. It will test you. That's not let's say I'm a control freak. I'm aware. But it takes a lot of courage to, like, have people take charge.
You're right. Am I gonna relinquish?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely that action. I just said this yesterday. There's got to be more. There's more to it than just intention,
Exactly.
right? So you can have the best of intentions, but if the actions are incongruent,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Right.
And you can tell if it's half-hearted or not. You're
Oh,
just
yeah.
doing it for the sake of doing it. You can
Yeah.
tell. You can, energy doesn't lie.
Yeah,
You can tell.
yeah, totally. I don't know, man. I feel like this is how our conversations typically go when we're not ranting about the fucking PBA.
Yeah.
No, we
Yeah.
won't. We don't have to get into that. But
Again, like I mean, it's tough,
mm,
Again, but we gotta be aware that hey, we can't control them.
oh yeah,
Because like it will just add stress if we try to control or try to fix things, change things that we want it to be.
yeah,
But like the world, I mean, it is what it is. Like now, how can I do something that brings peace?
yeah.
Because if we stress over something that we can't control, that's tough, man. Like
Oh yeah, you're just spinning your wheels. You're a
Yeah.
hamster on the hamster wheel, right?
yeah.
Controlling the controllables, right? We always talked about that.
Uh huh.
That's all you can do, man.
Yeah. But
And
and it's tough. It's not easy.
yeah, definitely.
Sometimes we play the victim game, the blame game. I'm this because of the PBA or whatever. I'm this because of politics. But
Yeah,
it is how it is now. I know it's tough. It's hard now. But like now, how do I have peace? Or um how do I do something to not think about that? Like, all right, we know it's like this. We know it's like that. Now, how do we change our interior motives? It's
Right.
tough.
yeah,
Because like we gotta look deep inside, which is tough because like we all just look with what's obvious,
yeah,
right? Like I say the politics or whatever.
Yeah.
But like right now it's given, it's there. Like, can we do something about it? No, like it's been there for 50 years or whatever.
Right.
There's been what let's say politics, you know, 200 years ago,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Why is it still not stopping now?
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. You
Yeah.
know, there's bad in the world. Like we have things that we can't control, but
Right.
what we can control is how we think, how we try to process what's inside now. Because like all the things that politics or corruption, it's been there ever since. But how do we control the now? Like ourselves, or like try to maybe influence people who might reach to top management or whatever. Maybe it can change their heart.
Right.
That's all we can do. But because like there are a lot of things we can't control.
Oh yeah,
It will just
absolutely.
add stress to us.
Absolutely. And I've been up and down with that since I started understanding how this whole ecosystem works and how
Yeah.
it functions, right? Like, there have been times where I'm like, I was trying to control the uncontrollables,
Yeah.
and it just was fucking breaking me down because I'm
Yeah.
like, this shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
isn't fair, and this
Mm.
isn't, I was talking with someone today or yesterday about, say, like the Philam rule, or like
Uh-huh.
I had some issues with my passport,
Mm-hmm.
and this year was the first time I was able to renew my passport, my Philippine passport, with no, like, I had all the documents and whatever. In this the first time in 19 years I was able to get it renewed for the full renewal with no problem, like no problems and no questions and no returns. Whereas I've watched guy after guy get naturalized. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? I'm
yeah,
like, what the fuck? Like, so stuff like that, and I've responded poorly at different times, or even if it wasn't publicly responding, on the inside it just ate me the fuck up, right?
you
Because
became bitter. And
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
and stuff in the league was the same way, and still is at times, where it's like, this, it just shouldn't be this way. But now I'm at a point where it's like, it's not even for my benefit. Like, I'm
yeah,
looking at the younger, like the next
yeah,
generation and the younger guys now. It's like, I really think like they deserve better, but you know, uh, like you said, it is what it is, and there's just some things that aren't going to change, and not right away.
yeah.
But you can hope. You can hope for it. You know, um, it's like, how much can you really fucking say, right? That's what I'm thinking right now. Like, how much can I really say without fucking
Yeah, there's
getting
so many topics.
reprimanded? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like, you get guys like that do speak the truth about it. Like, most recently, Danny I,
yeah.
spoke up, and I don't think he said anything wrong. He didn't say anything false.
He was just speaking
Speaking
facts.
facts, speaking truth, but you know, like most people,
Yeah.
they don't like that. People don't want to hear the truth.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Years
It's funny
ago,
about I love this quote in Dark Knight movie when who is Two Face? Who's Two Face? Um. Anyway, he said, "It's either you die as a hero or you live long enough to see yourself as the villain."
mm,
It's so true,
yeah,
right?
for sure. Wow, yeah. I've tried to put myself in the villain role just because I was so tired of trying to be upstanding.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like there was a point where I'm like, what's the point of trying to keep integrity when everyone else around me is fucking being, you know, underhanded, and
It's tough.
you know.
Yeah.
But there's always benefit to it.
Uh-huh.
Going back to just being a good person, being a
Yeah.
good human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there has to be something to be said about that in the end. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah, dude,
Tough world we live in.
yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but we find ways
To be resilient.
to be resilient, to be, and I think one of the best ways to do it is understanding yourself and being as authentic and transparent as you can be.
Correct.
You know, whether it's you're trying to find your tribe or be in like find an environment that works for you. It's like I think it starts with us.
Hundred
Just,
percent
you know,
starts with us.
You attract what you put out.
100%.
So
Yep. Yep.
anyway, man, it's been almost an hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Felt like 20 minutes.
I told you an hour, bro. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. I always enjoy our conversations.
Always, bro.
It's a good reminder that I'm not alone. We and you being vulnerable, me being vulnerable. It's very authentic. There's no masking. There's no trying to pretend we're okay.
Yeah. We're all fucked up.
Yeah.
Let's just accept it.
Yeah.
Let's help each other out.
Yeah. It's good that people can hear about this. That if they're feeling a certain way, it's okay. That we don't have to have that masculine identity of I'm okay, nothing's wrong.
Just fucking be human. We're all fucked up.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Let's rip that band-aid off.
It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength.
Yeah, absolutely. Be vulnerable. Be real to yourself, and fucking just enjoy this life.
Yep.
Get out and fucking see nature. Be in
Yeah,
nature.
enjoy
Life,
you don't know how much peace it will bring you.
100%.
Because there's no, every time I go to the province, it's peace.
Yeah.
There's no stress. It's nature because you're in nature.
Yes.
And
I need that, man. I need more
you
of
need
that.
it, you need it. It's funny, my realization. We call our country the Philippine Islands. We have 7,000 plus islands. And yet we live in the metro. The nearest beach is 3 hours away.
Yeah, that's crazy,
It's
right?
crazy, right?
Yes.
We don't really enjoy our beaches, our islands, or where we pride to be.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking too. Like when I just said the fact I need that. I need to go. I need a beach trip.
Yeah.
I need to fucking connect with the elements and come back to myself and do a digital detox because it's fucking necessary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, I have to tell you this. So my friend just got out of rehab, and then his rehab was nature rehab. He never touched his phone. No social media.
Wow.
And he said he's the happiest he's ever been. That's
bet,
crazy.
man.
That's
How
crazy.
How long was he in it?
For 2 months.
Wow. Nothing.
No,
No
nothing.
connection.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Just nature. Just
love
going
that.
back to how humanity was designed to live
Yeah.
with nature.
Oh man.
That's crazy.
Oh, that dopamine re-up is crazy. Then I'm sure
Yeah.
he's just enjoying life
Yeah.
for
Enjoying
what
life.
it is.
Enjoying life.
Yeah.
There's no information that will bombard you with negative stuff.
Right.
It's all just being in the present.
I read just today on the way here. They always have the quotes on, the post quotes and stuff.
Yeah.
They asked this guru, "What's poison?" And he said, "Poison is anything in excess that you don't need, whether it's money or food or whatever, like anything in excess." The reality is we have everything we need around us, but it comes back to your own perspective on what's actually around you.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking to myself because I also have those moments where it's like, stuff isn't like this.
Yeah.
I don't have this.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big materialistic guy, but I have goals and I have really big goals.
Yeah.
And so when stuff isn't that way or whatever, I tend to get in that mindset. But every time I go out of town, every time I simplify my
Your
space
life,
and it's just like, fuck, why I'm tripping.
Yeah.
That realignment, man, it's necessary.
Yeah. It makes you put things into perspective, what really matters in life, the important ones.
Yeah.
So of course we're just human, so we strive for material things, I guess, for motivation, for goals, or like for for drive. Like, oh, if I do this, I'll buy this. Gives you joy for a little bit, but then it diminishes, right? But then, like, again, what you said, in excess, it's poison.
It's poison
Yeah.
and unfulfilling in the end.
Yeah. It only
Right.
gives you happiness for a bit.
Yeah.
And then it dies down, diminishes.
Right.
Again, yeah, maybe a simpler life is better.
I think so. I think we'll. We're gonna end up transitioning to that at some point.
Mm.
Again, maybe not in our lifetime, but everything is in cycles,
100%.
life and death, right? Like,
Yep.
be interesting. Anyway, before we get metaphysical, I'll let you go, man. I told you an hour, but like I said, you're welcome here
Appreciate you.
anytime.
Appreciate you.
Like, we got to do this again,
Yeah,
hopefully.
of course, of course.
Yeah, dude.
And maybe when you learn something new, like share it to me, because I'm really interested with new stuff that I can experiment. Oh, is this right? Maybe I can apply it in my life and see how it goes, and I can tell you, oh, it worked.
Real quick,
Yeah.
I won't get into it, but have you heard about forest bathing?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I
There's a
wanna try that.
Japanese term for that.
Is there?
I forget. Shinrin Yoku.
Okay.
So, again, nature is medicine.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I think in Japan, they have lots of forest bathing.
They do it here.
Oh, cool.
So
Maybe we can go.
I'll send you the page. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
I had Denzel on,
Yeah,
and he was telling me about it. We should go do it. They do it in groups. So like
Awesome.
it's literally just people going
Where do
out.
they have it?
I
Antipolo?
don't know exactly where it is. Can you pull that up real quick, Kurt? I think we pulled it up before. But he told me about it, and we had like a full on conversation about how they go about these retreats, and you can go for hours, you can go for like overnighters. I just think it would be amazing. It's
Oh,
right up
that's
the
crazy.
alley of like what you were just talking about. Where is that? I think it's in like somewhere just outside. Yeah, Antipolo,
Antipolo, yeah,
QC, Laguna, Antipolo.
Now, nature is medicine.
Dude, it's necessary, man. It's
Again, it
necessary.
brings you into the present of being outdoors without your phone.
Yeah,
It's healing. 100%.
yeah, dude. Grounding.
Grounding, yeah. Do you do grounding a lot?
Yeah, I try to.
I remember
Yeah.
when we were in Batangas, you were outdoors all the
Yeah.
time.
Anytime I get around grass, I try to just kick my shoes off
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like. So in the States, I was doing that a lot.
Hmm.
My sons will be in the backyard shooting, and I'll just take off. I took off my shirt and my
Yeah.
shoes and just laid in the grass. And I'm like, oh man, I don't have that enough here. It's just all
Yeah.
cement. You know what I
You can
mean?
do it tomorrow.
I could. It's been
Yeah.
raining
Yeah,
lately
it's been
a lot
raining,
lately.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah.
The last couple of weeks, so it's just been raining. Yeah. So let's check it out, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll send you the link on.
Yeah.
I'll DM you the link.
Next time we'll talk about your ayahuasca trip.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's a whole nother thing,
I remember when you told me that story. That's crazy.
bro. Yeah, I might need to do that again.
You threw up jewels, diamonds, right?
Yeah, you remember that? You remember that?
Yeah.
I was doing like these, and then seeing fractals, and oh my gosh, it was crazy.
Yeah, when you saw a spider.
Yeah, yeah. I just said that to myself today. I always say it like, "There's no spider.
There's no spider.
There is
yeah.
no spider."
Yeah.
To refocus myself,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
if I keep looking over there,
Yeah.
something's gonna be there.
Yeah.
But now I'm taking my eyes off the course. So,
Hey, that's good. I mean, self-talk is really crucial.
oh God, yeah,
Positive self-talk.
yeah. They said geniuses talk to themselves.
There you go. Because you don't. I heard this from someone else also. You talk to yourself more than other people talk to you.
Yeah, for
Imagine
sure.
that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what you think, what you say to yourself is really crucial. You gotta be positive. You gotta motivate yourself. You gotta
Totally. You got to be
Yeah.
your biggest fan.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not saying by the way, going back, I'm not saying I'm a genius. I'm just saying that's just a fun fact. That I guess Einstein talked to himself a lot. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, man. I'll send that to you.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Well, let's get together again, man.
Yeah. Of course.
Like I
Thanks
said,
for having me. Thanks for having
Anytime,
me.
bro. Like, come
Yeah,
through.
I love these kinds of conversations because it rarely happens, But every time we talk, like Time goes fast.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
We didn't eat.
Yeah.
Like our food's just there.
Yeah,
Coffee
yeah.
gets cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming through,
Thanks,
bro.
thanks, Kirk.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Always.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Good luck this season too, bro.
You too.